I'm going to steal one from you now, as you so rudely did to me earlier. I'm going to pick Assar Thompson. I think Assar is going to have a massive season. I think we're talking like definitely making all defense. I think we're talking, if he stays like completely healthy and plays 65 games, I think we're talking like 14, 15 points a game, 8 or 9 rebounds, 3 or 4 assists in all defense. And like, he is just an absolute savage.
Okay. Stop real quick. We did Pistons player stat predictions on the Pistons Pulse a couple weeks ago. Can I give you my numbers? Cause I think it's funny based off what you just said.
Okay, go ahead.
14 points, 3.5 assists, 7 rebounds, 2 steals, 1 block.
That's amazing. That's so good. Yeah, I think that we're talking about like, again, just a big leap. I mean, look, that'd be like a 50% increase. 15 points a game would be like a 50% increase on what he did last year. I think consistently he's just going to keep cutting and attacking the basket and getting out in transition and being like an amazing partner for Cade Cunningham out on the break. And, rebounding wise, like, 6 rebounds as a rookie, 5 rebounds as a sophomore. I think we're going to see that jump. I do. I think we're talking about a guy that's going to absolutely crash the glass. And if I was JB Bickerstaff, I would be telling like Jalen Duren, we want you to box out so that Assar can crash in and get the rebound, because we want to start the break quicker. We want Assar to get the ball so that you don't have to catch the ball and then get it to like Cade or get it to Assar or get it to Jaden Ivey or like whatever you want to do, right? Like, let Assar just get the ball and sprint down the court and start the break quicker to me. And he's like a great offensive rebounder, obviously, and everything too. So like, yeah, I think he is in for a big jump rebounding wise.
Do you think that conversation with Jalen Duren is easier if he has a contract or doesn't have his extension locked in?
Much easier if he has a contract.
Okay. I agree with you there. Like, Assar can absolutely drive transition off the D. The reason my rebounds were a little bit lower was what you just said, though. Like, Jalen Duren is a guy that rebounds really well. Cade's actually a really, really good defensive rebounder. Tobias is actually a good defensive rebounder with what he has left. And so like, that's why I was a little bit lower, but there's going to be games where it's 14, 12. And then, I think he's not going to shoot it from 3 this year. Like, I think to expect like that level of jump to be a real shooter, I think is too much, but I'm interested to see kind of like the decision making out of the short roll, the decision making as a pick and roll handler, those type of things. Like, how far can I don't think he's ever like a primary on ball guy, not to the level of Min is, but how far can that stuff grow? Because that would go a long way, especially when you're talking about a guy that's a non-shooter right now.
So the last 2 years, Victor Wembanyama is at a 5x5 game. There hadn't been one in 6 or 5 years until Victor did one in 2024. I'm going to throw Amen into this as well. I think one of the Thompson twins this year pops a 5x5 game.
I can see it.
Here's a fun one. There has not been a wing to have a 5x5 game since when, Bryce? When do you think the last one was?
2007.
So 2013, and Nick Batum did it.
Batum.
In 2013. Before that, there had not been a 5x5 game in 7 years. Back when Andre Kirilenko did it, and Kirilenko did it 3 times. Kirilenko was just a savage, kind of crashing the box score and, continually hitting the box score in the way that he did. I think that one of the Thompson twins pops a 5x5 game. That's my prediction. One of those two ends up getting one, and we'll see which one it is. I think both of them could very easily do it, honestly.
And for anybody who like, when you just look at Assar's raw stats, I just encourage you to quickly look at the minutes per game. I don't know if it was truly a minutes restriction or whatever, but obviously there was something coming off the blood clots. He only played 22 and a half minutes. And so like per 36, he's not a 36 minute a game guy, but per 36, he averaged last year 16, 8, 3.5, 2.7 steals and 1.1 blocks. Now, again, I don't think he's all of a sudden going to play 36, but if he's closer to 28 to 30 a night, if he's not closer to 28 to 30 tonight, I will be surprised this upcoming season.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. I think we're talking big minutes increase, and we're talking a guy that makes all defense and is like right around, like I said, like 14, 15, 7 or 8 rebounds, 3 to 4 assists, 2 steals, a block. And it's just one of those dudes that, you know, makes that jump into, oh my God, this is like one of the big like impact winning players in the league right now. Much like his brother took that leap last season, in my opinion.
Yep. 100%.
And the only reason that Assar hasn't taken that leap is probably the blood clot, to be honest.
Yeah.
Like when he played last year, he was pretty freaking ridiculous by the end of the year, I thought. Like if you look at his last, you know, what do we want to call it here? 33 games. You know, he was averaging like 12, 6 and 3 because he was just playing 25 minutes as opposed to playing 22 minutes a night. So I think that that's a huge factor here as well. I think that Assar with more minutes is going to end up being a guy that like really impacts winning and takes a big leap in terms of awards and recognition and everything like that.
Yeah. I love it. No, I mean, he was obviously on my list here, not to be an all-star, but as, you know, awards because of the all defense.